Welcome to TransformHer, the show that provides practical insights and tangible resources for leadership. Our mission at TransformHer is to dismantle barriers, ignite audacity, and equip African women for the C-suite as well as entrepreneurship by arming them with the tools, the knowledge, and the opportunities that they need to unleash their full potential. Together, we will uplift, ignite, and usher in a new era of inclusive leadership that is sure to drive profound growth and prosperity across the African continent. Today, we're exploring the journey to the C-suite, corporate governance, as well as strategic leadership. We delve into the world of corporate strategy and leadership with Ijeoma Taylaur, with her extensive experience in corporate governance and a pivotal role in driving public-private sector partnerships with what she does as the co-chair of the planning committee of the flagship event of the NESG. Ijeoma, you are most welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So let's get right into it. I'd like for you to share with us pivotal moments in your journey that set you on the path to leadership, you know, in your role in corporate governance and strategic partnerships.
Thank you very much, Ijeoma. And first of all, let me say well done. Congratulations on the show. Just from the intro, very excited about what I'm hearing. I am a big supporter of Africans for Africa, particularly for women. So this, I think, is a wonderful platform. Just going to your question, if I think about first of all, let me talk about leadership. It's a popular saying, but I really believe it, that leadership is not a destination, it's a journey. So for me, when you think about leadership, you think about the journey, you know, you can't think about it as somewhere I'm going to get to as a destination. And I say that to say, in the journey, there are pivotal moments you go through where you learn, you unlearn, you relearn, and you go through that cycle again and again. And that's what gives you the mastery, the skill, and the knowledge that you require. So having said that, for me, the pivotal moments have really been my first job, basically. I tell my children all the time, your first job will determine your career trajectory. My first job was at PricewaterhouseCoopers. At the time, it was Price Waterhouse. And it wasn't a job that daddy or mommy got me. I very much saw the PW staff, and I saw what good looked like, and I wanted to be like them. And I applied, and I got in. That was a training ground, if you like, for sort of writing my examinations, my ICANN exams. That was a training ground for taking advantage for opportunities like mentorship. It exposed me to global practices. And that growth, I think, was phenomenal. I spent 11 years there.
Wow.
Yes. Another pivotal moment for me was the decision to move to where I currently work, which at the time it was Travant Capital Partners. Now you have to bear in mind that in joining PW, I was very clear as to what what I thought was the destination was to be a partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers. And why my next job was pivotal for me was very much because it was a story that was sold to me, a private equity fund, Africans for Africa. That excited me.
I like that.
And I took a leap of faith. It was a risk. We have rebranded over the years. I'm currently an executive director at Alpha African Advisory. We rebranded from Travant Capital Partners to Alpha African. And we're focused on financial advisory, again, very much for the local market. And for me, that was pivotal. What has worked for me has been longevity of service, the mastery of skill, the acquisition of knowledge, and really doing it in a place where you put in your best and you're able to be recognized for the work that you've done. So longevity of service has worked for me. The third point I will mention in terms of pivotal moments is really my love for things that feed and energize me outside my core 9 to 5, as it were. And those are my love for women, gender equality, and my love for nation building.
So from PwC to Travant, 11 and then 15 years. That's a long time. That's 26 whole years.
Yep.
Show us your battle scars. What were the challenges on this journey?
The battle scars are there, Ijeoma. Honestly, they really are. But I think I will talk about my time now at Alpha African for the battle scars. I have to admit that PwC, everything was easy. It went by I lived a charmed life, as it were. Then I got to Travant, and that was very good. We were focused on raising a fund, Africans for Africa, etc., looking for opportunities. And then in 2008, at the end of the year, the bottom of the world fell out. Essentially, there was a global financial crisis. International companies, financial advisors, etc., went bankrupt. The private equity fund we had, a few of our investors sort of had challenges of their own. And so as a fund, we had to lose our staff. And we got to a point where even the CEO left. And there was myself and another lady. We were left holding, as it were, holding this baby. And we had debt. We had debt, we had no staff. But we had a conviction that we needed to just forge ahead. We forged ahead with scars. You will see us in our official cow. We had no money. We're not even getting paid a salary. And then she got pregnant and went to have a baby. So there was just me. And we got a
one-man band.
A one-man band.
Just
but
you,
we had
yes.
a company name, but it was a one-man band. We didn't even have work. And then we got somebody to join me for 6 months. And then there were opportunities started to come. But I had tears. There was a particular day I went to the bathroom and I was crying. We had a job, but we didn't have anyone to execute except myself and this contract consultant who was supporting me. But somehow we got through it. I went through a year, at the very least, at different times, of not being paid a salary.
For 1 year?
Yes.
Wow.
Of not being paid a salary. But when people see me outside, they will see me, I'm in a car. I look as if everything is fine, but it was very, very challenging. We've managed to build the team back up. We started to get more and more mandates. My partner and myself, what we say to each other is that this work is very much point and kill. You go out, you have to kill the fish, bring it home to feed.
So that you can feed.
It continues to be challenging. Obviously, we know what the market is like. Advisory, which is what we offer, financial advisory, continues to be difficult because companies struggle even with staying alive, not talk less of paying fees. But we're very much focused on the value that we provide to clients, and we hope that that brings us repeat clients. You'll be pleased to know that I now no longer go without a salary. But certainly those battles,
encouraging.
Yes, no, certainly those battle scars were there. But I think the key thing was the resilience. And I like what you spoke to me about earlier, the resilience and the flexibility. That very much, resilience, first of all, was, I think, what kept us going. And the flexibility to adapt to change and to see opportunities as they arose and take advantage of those opportunities. I think those are very much the things that kept us going. So my partner and myself, we still run the firm. We've built the team up now. I think we're about 18 men strong.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's indeed a journey, and that's a very impressive one. And that's, you see, this is what TransformHer is about. It's about transformation. It's about growth. And thank you for sharing your story. I mean, I know that there are many people who saw you in that year and probably did not or could not imagine that Ijeoma was not getting paid. And this is a lesson to entrepreneurs that those times will come, those challenges will come, but it's about being resilient and continuing to adapt and just keep going. Now, I want to go to mentorship. I'm very aware of what it is that you have done and contributed to the field of women's growth, particularly with your volunteering for WIMBIZ. And I've couched this question by saying that I know that mentorship is a powerful tool for professional growth, but how have mentorship relationships influenced your career? And what advice do you give to women who are seeking to establish relationships with mentors?
Okay. I think mentoring, first of all, mentoring, like you said, is such an important, it's a powerful tool. If I look at my growth in my career journey, when I started at PwC, again, I repeat that your first job is so key. Mentoring was something that was in the DNA. And I grew up with that, with mentorship just being part of the way you grow within the firm. A mentor is identified and you're matched with a mentor and you learn and you grow. Now, if women don't have that opportunity to have a mentor that has been sort of selected for them, I would say the key thing is think to yourself, what is it that I need from mentoring? And what is mentoring? Mentoring is a relationship between a mentor, which is a more senior person, either in age, in a professional line, or just, somebody that you wish, a mentee wishes to emulate.
Right.
And so the key thing for any person seeking a mentor is to define to yourself, what is it that I'm looking for in this mentoring relationship? The challenge some people have is they want to appoint a mentor. I like Ijeoma Williams, but I haven't defined to myself, what are my objectives from this mentoring relationship?
Right.
What do I want to get out of it? Because when you define what you want to get out of it, then you will be able to choose the right mentor. And you have mentors for different things. A mentor can advise you, a mentor can nurture your personal well-being, a mentor can sponsor you, i.e. find you opportunities in rooms where you are not in.
Right.
And so if, for example, you're working in finance industry like myself, and you want to identify a mentor because you want to chart your growth to C-suite, potentially be on boards of conglomerates eventually, you should ideally find somebody who looks like what you want to look like.
Right.
And maybe you want to break that into buckets, i.e. this is how I want to look in 5 to 8 years.
Okay.
And you look for somebody at that level. And maybe you outgrow that need. Mentoring is not a one-time thing. Throughout your journey, your needs change. And with your needs changing, you must be able to define the type of person or mentor that will feed those needs. So I think, like I said, the key thing is identifying what it is your objective, and then identifying the type of person that would fit those objectives. Now, people tend to want to gravitate towards the most popular person. I see Ijeoma Williams on TransformHer. I want her to be my mentor. But you might be one of 20. There are many women doing great things, and men doing great things. You do not have to approach the most famous or most popular of persons. You want someone that can really, you can have a personal relationship, you can have personal contact with, that can really nurture you. And it's key that before you approach that person, you have a clear idea of what you want to achieve. There are people that don't know how to approach people, they don't know how to go about it. I'm not marketing Wimbiz, but I will tell you what has worked for me. And Wimbiz has worked and continues to work for me. They have a mentoring program, which is very much channeled towards younger women who have the passion, who have the vision and clarity as to where they want to go. And they have a pool of women. So I myself, I volunteer as a mentor. But I too have women that I'm looking at.
Mentoring you.
Yes, so right now where I am, I'm in C-suite, but I'm currently on a board. I've rolled off one board, but I continue to look at opportunities, and the board I'm on is a very strong board. So for me, it's another level in my career journey. And so in looking for a mentor for myself, I would be looking for a man or woman that is, has been on 3 or 4 strong boards. And I want to learn that, how to be a strong and strategic and valuable board member. So my needs have changed from where it was 5-6 years ago. So I think that's critical. Understand your objectives, define what they are to yourself, and identify the mentor that can feed. That. Yeah.
Wow. So I'd like for you to shed light on public public-private sector partnerships, its complexities, how how you have navigated with the NESG conference and how it concerns me. So Ijeoma, you know the business I'm in. I want you to break it down because there are different categories of entrepreneurs watching us.
Okay.
Yes.
I think what I will say is, first of all, entrepreneurs have a myriad of issues. But I almost think the two issues, regardless of what sector you're in, the two issues that will be top of mind for most entrepreneurs is access to capital. Whether or not you have your own personal balance sheet, your own personal funding, if you decide to grow, access to capital will always be top of mind, whether by debt or increasing your equity from shareholding. And the second point is an enabling environment. So in Nigeria, enabling environment has always been top of mind for entrepreneurs. And even though I run a financial advisory firm, I see myself as an entrepreneur. Enabling environment is top of mind. And what is enabling environment? It is within your environment, the policies and the reforms that will ensure that companies that are operating within that environment, there's the ease of doing business. They're able to, you're trying to set up a company. How many days does it take to set up that company? There are taxes, there are multiplicity of taxes. Do you actually understand what reforms, what are the policies, what are the monetary policies? That affects you, because that affects whatever the MPR is will affect how you can access capital from a bank, right? And at what interest rate. Mm-hmm. So to think as an entrepreneur that what happens in the environment does not really concern you is, I think, naive. We can't keep complaining. We must be part of the solution we want to see. So if we have challenges, if we have concerns, and we want the policies to actually address those concerns that we feel as entrepreneurs doing business in Nigeria, then we owe it to ourselves as a point of responsibility to be at those tables where those conversations and dialogues are being had, so that your recommendations form part of what goes in the Green Book that goes back to the public sector and hopefully get implemented and come out in some sort of policy. I always say that you cannot clap with one set of hands. The public sector, the private sector. The public sector is responsible for sort of enabling environments, etc., policy and reforms, but the private sector players are the ones that are driving the growth of the economy. But we must work together in partnership to ensure that all of these are achieved. So clapping with both sets of hands.
Hands, yeah.
Absolutely.
Finally, Ijeoma, blast from the past. What would you say to Ijeoma Taylaur 25 years ago?
I would have many things to say, but I think I would say, don't worry about what people think or say. Don't worry about trying so hard to prove that you can deliver. Just focus on your focus and keep doing what you're doing. The other thing I'd say is be authentic. And I think I'd say, Ijeoma, speak up. I've had opportunities where I could have spoken up as a younger person. But you always think, what if I don't say it right? Just speak up. Because most of the time, we're all intelligent people. And God has put something in you that nobody else has. And you can share that something. So don't be afraid to speak up. I keep telling myself this. And even till now, I'm a work in progress. I'm on the journey. And I keep learning to speak up. And I think the last thing I'll tell myself is, Ijeoma, be authentic. You're not a size 38. Wear the right shoes. Buy the right shoes.
Shoe size.
Don't let the shoes pinch. If I apply my shoe size to my life, it's simply be authentic. Let the real you show up every time. Not sometimes, every time. So, letter to 25-year-old me.
Thank you so much, Ijeoma.
Thank you
so much.
No.
On this episode of TransformHer, what we succeeded in doing is navigating a course to executive leadership. So much has been shared, and I'm not surprised that Ijeoma has said so much. clarity in picking your mentor, most importantly, wearing the right shoe size so you do not develop corns. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Please stay tuned for our coaching segment. Until next time, it's been a pleasure. Welcome to today's coaching segment on TransformHer. This is a two-part series on the very important topic of resilience and flexibility. This presentation outline is designed to provide you with both theoretical insights and practical applications, ensuring actionable strategies to enhance your leadership effectiveness in dynamic industries. Now, why is building resilience and flexibility in leadership important? Well, statistics tell us. A study by the consulting firm PwC found that 86% of CEOs consider flexibility and adaptability to be the most important leadership qualities in a rapidly changing business environment. Also, a study by Willis Towers Watson found that companies that support resilience building in their workforce see 4 times higher levels of engagement, are 3 times more likely to report high performance and innovation levels, and are 6 times more likely to effectively manage change. Finally, resilience and flexibility also show in business outcomes. A research by McKinsey & Company reveals that organizations with agile, flexible leadership are 1.5 times more likely to report outperforming competitors in terms of profitability, operational efficiency, and customer satisfaction. I like the way Einstein put it, that the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. And so what are the pillars to consider for personal resilience? First is your self-awareness, recognizing your stress triggers and emotional responses. And then comes your perseverance, the ability to persist in the face of challenges. I like this third one, optimism, maintaining a positive yet realistic, repeat, yet realistic outlook. And finally, your self-care, strategies for managing stress and maintaining work-life balance. What's the practical takeaway from this segment? It's a quick self-assessment that I urge you to do. It's a reflective exercise to identify your personal resilience strengths and areas for improvement. And so this resilience self-assessment exercise has the following instructions. Reflect on recent challenges in your life, whether it's your work life or your personal life. Write down the specific challenges that you faced and how exactly you responded to them. Assess your resilience components. And so on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest, assess the following resilience components. Adaptability. How quickly and effectively did you adjust to the situation? So if 1 is the lowest and 5 is the highest, say something really rocked your world, business or private. Did it stress you to the point where you didn't even know how to respond? That'll be a 1. Or did you very quickly swing into plan B? And how did your emotions respond to that? Secondly, perseverance. How persistent were you in overcoming that obstacle? Did you throw in the towel and simply give up? That'll be a 1. Or did you think again of a plan B? Again, I urge you to note how you responded emotionally. Third will be optimism. How positive and hopeful were you about the outcome? Did you give up? Or did you say there must be a way out? I tell you something I do personally. I say to myself, heaven will not fall. There surely must be a way out. As long as I'm alive and well, there must be a way out. Support seeking. How effectively did you seek help or support from others? Being strong and being a strong leader does not mean that you handle every situation yourself. Who is your support system at work or at home? It helps when you talk about challenges and you seek solutions from people who might have had the same challenges or are able to just support you in whatever way. problem solving, how well did you identify the solutions? You see, I find that oftentimes we focus too much on the problems rather than sitting down and trying to think through what solutions we can bring to bear to solve these problems. In the next episode, we'll be looking at the best strategies for dealing with challenges and how we can build resilience and flexibility. Just to leave you with something, resilience is like a muscle. So it's like when you work out and you train your muscle to become stronger. You grow in resilience, and that's what makes you more flexible and adaptable. Until next time, I hope you've learned something on this coaching segment.